The next question is, in relevance to our theme, any arcade or video games that you like to play? Yes, actually. I do play some video games. I don't play a lot of them. Well, because I don't have a lot of time, but when I do play, I play a lot on my little DS. I've got one of those non-3D new DS's, I know. And I tend to like games which are cute. For example, I love playing the Pokemon games. No, I don't have a favorite Pokemon. I guess it would, I mean, I'm kind of partial to Bulbasaur, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, I also like the Professor Layton games, partly because of all the puzzles. I love sorting through the puzzles, especially the ones we have to slide stuff around. I like that. I have played some of the Final Fantasy games, especially some of the older ones that have been, redone or set up for the DS. Some of the newer Final Fantasy stuff I haven't actually played, but I've watched Chris play it, and the artwork is just unbelievable. They're little works of art, really. That's what they are. Now, as far as games that I really like, I often don't like games that are that popular. For example, we have a PlayStation 2 still working, and one of my favorite games for it is this. I picked it up in the cheapie bin. I think it cost me all of about $6 to buy, and it was called Ark the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits. From what I can gather, it has very little to do with anything else that's Ark the Lad. And I won't, in case you ever find this old game and play it, I won't give it away, but I liked it just because it was fun to play. The artwork wasn't bad, especially for like a, $6 game. And I kind of had a twist ending that I wasn't expecting. I wouldn't give that away, really, unless you've played it, but I liked it. The other thing I play a great deal of is I have a GameCube. You can't kill a GameCube. I've come to that conclusion. GameCubes last forever until they physically erode, it seems. As far as that goes, I love Harvest Moon for GameCube. I've got the quote boys version and the quote girls version. By the way, the girls version is a lot harder than the boys version. But I like it because of all the little animals and the fact that you have to pet your animals and hug your animals. I know, I'm terrible. The other game I really liked for it was Bait and Katos. I apologize if I mispronounced the name, but partly because it was for the for GameCube game, it was really pretty. In fact, it's probably one of the most girly games I've ever played that I don't think was supposed to be a girly game. For it, everybody has wings, and you have all these. It has a really unique fighting system where you actually use cards in like a hand of cards to combat the enemies. It was really quite neat. But none of these games can really hold up to the game I used to play when I was a kid. When I was very young, probably in grade school, I had a friend whose brother had one of the original Atari game systems. And we played it forever. He never played it. We used to play it. Me and my friend, we would play it all the time. And the game we played, which I still hold as the standard to which all games must aspire to, was Tank Pong. I'm pretty sure that's not even the original name of it, but you had two choices. You could be the pink tank or the blue tank. I think you could change the colors, but we never played anything other than pink and blue. And basically, you were these little tanks in a maze, and the goal of the game was to fire a little tiny pellet, which is probably about 3 pixels, and bounce it by ricocheting it off the side of this maze and hit your opponent. And it would basically, what it would do is score you a point and send your opponent to a random place in the maze, and they would spin uncontrollably for about a second or two. And it went on until you got bored and turned the game off. There was no goal. I don't think there was a point to it. But for some reason, we were utterly fascinated by Tank Pong, and we played it for hours. It was just a stupid game, but we played this thing. And I still like to think that, somewhere out there is a small collection of people who play Atari Tank Pong. It was part of a bundle. It probably didn't have a name into of itself. We called it Tank Pong. But it also came bundled with a game where you could play a little biplane. Well, at least I think it was a biplane. It was pretty crude, graphic-wise. And you had, again, pink and blue plane. And you constantly slid down the screen in a horizontal line. And the idea, again, was to shoot your opponent, score a point, and he would spin off to a random place on the screen. That was it. And again, it played until you went mad. Or just shut the thing off in frustration. That was my foundation. Anyway, I think I better go make some more of these things. Obviously, I'm running out of strips.